let's move to question 6.3. So, ladies and gentlemen, they say determine the equation of the circle with center n in the form, into x minus a close squared plus into y minus b close squared is equals to r squared. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, remember we are now on question 6.3, and this question is allocated just 3 marks. Okay, and this is the form in which they want you to give the equation of the circle. Y minus b squared, which is equals to r squared. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you write that formula in the form in which they requested. Okay, so remember, guys, remember we've got n S3 and 2, and this is the center of that circle. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we know that the center of a circle is represented by A and B. Okay, so what we can do at this stage, we can just substitute into that formula, which means we've got x minus what is the x value at the center. It's obviously 3 close squared plus y minus what is the y at the center. It's obviously equals to 2, which is equals to, ladies and gentlemen, what is r? So obviously we know r is the radius. Okay, so what is the radius of that circle? I've just indicated, ladies and gentlemen. You say, let me just draw that circle. Okay, so obviously, ladies and gentlemen, I've just indicated that from that point up to there, it's equals to 2 units. Okay, so that means r is actually equals to 2. So that means from A to N, it's equals to 2. From N to B, it's equals to 2. Why? Because from there to there is the radius, from there to there is the radius. So that means the diameter is equals to 2 plus 2, which is equals to 4. So that means from there all the way up to there, it's equals to 4. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So this is just an additional information of which you might need at a later stage. So that means our r is equals to 2, then you can just square it. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, our formula will look like this. Squared, obviously 2 squared is equals to 4. Okay, so by just doing this, ladies and gentlemen, they give you your 3 marks. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So I think for correct substitution, this is where you can just score your mark. Actually, for correct substitution on that side of the equation, and again they can just give you a mark for having noticed that your radius, which is NL, it's equals to 2 units. And then finally, we'll just give you a mark for your final answer. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, remember you must give the equation in that form, which is what the question requested. Very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen, that you pay attention to instructions given in the question. Okay, so let's now move to a question, obviously 6.4, and 6.4 is calculate the length of KL. Where is K? There is K. Where is L? There is L. Okay, so this is question 6.4, and this question, it's allocated, let's see, it's allocated 3 marks. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So remember, guys, remember, you've got that as a Cartesian plane, right? And you've got that line, which is P and Q. Okay, so obviously that point is K over there, and we've got an equation for that line. It's given on the information over there, and they are saying this is y, it's equals to 4 over 3x plus 4 over 3. Okay, so what we know about K, ladies and gentlemen, we know K, obviously that's where y it's equals to 0. I'm pretty much sure that if we can find the coordinates of K, then we'll be able to determine a, let's just double check what the question wants. Calculate the length of KL. So that means we'll be able to determine the length from there all the way up to there. Remember, this is L and this is K. So obviously this is from 0 all the way up to that X value. As soon as we find it, then we add it with from there all the way up to there. Obviously, we already know that from there up to there, ladies and gentlemen, it's equals to 3. Okay, you remember the coordinates of L is actually 3 and 0. How did we know? Is because of the coordinates of that center. So, ladies and gentlemen, because that K is along that line of this equation, then we can just substitute what we know about K and get the other value. We obviously know that y is equals to 0. Then we can say 0 is equals to 4 over 3x plus 4 over 3. Can we just multiply each term by 3, multiplied by 3, multiply by 3 so that this 3 cancels? Okay, so that obviously means we've got 3 multiplied by 0, it's just 0. Then 4 over 3 multiplied by 3, the 3 cancels, you remain with 4 over x plus 4 over 3 times 3. The 3 cancels just like they did over there. Then you remain with 4. You move 4 to the other side. Then it becomes a negative 4, which is equals to 4x. Then you just divide by 4. Just divide by 4. Cancels, it cancels. That means that x is equals to, this divided by that is equals to 1. Remember that negative over there. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, K, the coordinates of K, it's negative 1 and 0. Okay, so in answering the question, ladies and gentlemen, that means, let me just do this and say the length of KL is actually equals to the length from the origin to K. So let's just say from the origin to K, which is OK, plus the origin to L, which is OL. So that means from O to K, we know it's 1 unit, plus from O to L is 3 units, which means it's equals to 4 units, ladies and gentlemen. So that means from K to L, it's equals to 4 units. That obviously means, remember, this is that circle. That means from there to the tangent. From there to the tangent, it's equals to 4 units. Okay, remember, ladies and gentlemen, we've got another tangent over there. So it's more like it forms that shape. It's more like it forms that shape. And from that point to there, if it's 4 units, that means from there to the other tangent is still equals to 4 units. I'm just giving you this information as an additional information. Okay, so in terms of allocating the marks, ladies and gentlemen, remember this is just allocated 3 marks. So for you to equate this to 0, we just give you a mark. Okay, for that x value, we just give you a mark. And for your final answer, we give you a mark. So ladies and gentlemen, this is how you score your 4 marks. Okay, very, very much important, ladies. Very, very much important that you fully understand what I'm explaining to you, ladies and gentlemen. So now, let's move to, I think it's 6.5, which says determine the equation of the diameter AB in the form y it's equals to mx plus c. So ladies and gentlemen, they want this is 6.5, and I think it's allocated, let me quickly check, it's allocated 4 marks. A lot of marks over there, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the equation that they want of A and B. So we've got n over there, which is 3 and 2. Okay, very, very much important, ladies and gentlemen. So guys, let's just quickly try to check something. Remember guys, this is a circle, right? This is a circle, and if you remember, in the beginning of this lesson, I've just explained to you that let me just do this so that you understand when I explain. Remember, this is K, that point over there. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I've just indicated to you that from the gradient of that line multiplied by the gradient of that line is equals to -1, and we already know the gradient of that line from the given equation of PQ. Okay, very, very much important. So that means the gradient of let me check the gradient of from there to there, which is obviously AK. The gradient of AK multiplied by the gradient of AB, it's equals to -1. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this, ladies and gentlemen, is because I know if I can find the gradient of that line, then I'm going to use that point to determine the equation of that line AB, which is the diameter of that circle. So at least you've got an idea of what my intentions are. So as I move on, you'll understand easily. So remember guys, from that equation, I think it's 4 over 3x plus 4 over 3. So this is the gradient of AK. Okay, so that's why I can substitute there to say 4 over 3 multiplied by the gradient of AB